Hello and welcome to the Father and Son Pastime Podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
That's my dad.
How are you?
Dad, we are continuing the trivia / kind of crazy baseball stories trend and kind of theme we've been doing over these past few weeks. Today is my research, and I decided to do a little deep dive on the members of the 500 Home Run Club.
Great club.
I figured with Miguel Cabrera just joining that, it's still hot in the streets. It's new, and he's obviously the newest member. But what kind of community is he joining? We got a lot of fun stories about these players individually, teams they represent, the club overall. How much do you think you'd kind of know about the members of the 500 Run Club?
I think I could do pretty well with this.
Okay. All right. Well, fans that are listening along, please play along with my dad. Buzz in your own way, as this is obviously pre-recorded, but have fun with it. Dad, I think I got about 15 to 20 minutes worth of questions and stories. We'll kind of go from there.
I'm not going anywhere.
Right? Why would you go anywhere? We're having fun.
All
right. So simple question. We'll get the easy one out the way first. Who is the newest member to the 500 Home Run Club?
Miguel Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera. He
played with two teams, the Marlins and the Tigers.
Okay, look at the additive information there.
Started as third baseman, by the way.
He did for the Marlins.
And then as the years progressed, he went over to first base because he lost his range.
And now he kind of DHs.
And then he got a refrigerator. And then he was fine.
Great. So there's Miguel. I mean, just getting an easy one out the way. Now, what number is now Miguel? There's a certain amount of people in the 500 Home Run Club. How many people make up that club? How many members?
I'm going to do just an estimate of around 40.
No, not that much, actually. 28.
Okay.
Miguel makes the 28th member of this fine, illustrious club. So now we have a little frame of reference. We had 27 for a while, for about a decade or so after Poppy. And now we have Miguel coming in. There's a lot, obviously. You used to be, pre-real 90s, if you hit 500 home runs, you were automatically in the Hall of Fame.
And, well, you should be.
With steroids, there's obviously a big, case with that. So out of those 28, how many are not in the Hall of Fame?
3.
10.
No way.
I know, and we'll talk about who those are, but obviously it's those newer 90s editions.
Okay.
In those things like the Gary Sheffields, for example, the Barry Bonds.
Yep.
And this also includes the current people that are still playing that aren't obviously in the Hall of Fame yet.
Okay.
And people like A-Rod and Poppy, who haven't been eligible for the Hall of Fame ballot as well.
Yeah.
So again, there's including all that
assortment of
including the assortment of chocolatey candies. Yes. So we all know obviously the person that started, the founder of this club, was Babe Ruth, but who was the second member? Another powerful home run hitter. If you don't get this, you'll probably kick yourself. Actually, it's not Ernie. That's for those fans that know. My dad's a Cubs fan. It's not Ernie.
The second one?
I'm already stumping him already, folks. Let's do it.
Hank Aaron.
No, Hank Aaron was quite late.
Okay.
This is Jimmy Fox. Jimmy Fox from Sudlersville, Maryland, everybody.
Yes.
So Jimmy Fox was the second one.
He played minor league baseball on the Eastern Shore when Eastern Shore had a minor league system.
We were from Maryland, if you haven't known that yet.
Yeah.
And then Mel Ott was 3. So a lot of those 40s, 50s, early 50s.
Okay.
Ted Williams was in there in the early bunch too. But yeah, so Babe Ruth was in his own club for a couple of years before Jimmy joined him. So we talked about Miguel Cabrera earlier being obviously the newest member on there, but he's not the only one that's still active. Who's the other still active member of the 500 Home Run Club?
And they always do this on Sports Center. Like he just hit number blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he just got traded this year, if you want a clue. He's in the 600s.
Oh. I don't know.
Albert Pujols.
Oh, I should have known that.
Hey, you know what? The comments will just be coming for you now. It's all good. This was the easy page.
Yeah.
So this is going to get fun.
Yeah.
A lot of these are guesses from here on out, too.
Wow.
A lot are like either or options. So obviously I want to do a little bit of Red Sox focusing. There's many famous Red Sox on this 500 Home Run Club. But 2 recent ones, Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz. Out of Manny or David Ortiz, who has more home runs?
David.
Manny. By a lot, actually, too. Manny has, again, a lot of people will link to steroids to him, but Manny has a lot of career accolades. He has one of the, I think, 6 members that has 500 home runs and an overall career batting average of more than 300. So he's quite talented, but again, being linked to steroids, I think he actually did test positive once, really hurts his chances of one day being in the Hall of Fame. But Manny does have more than.
Want to hear my favorite Manny story?
Sure, tell us. We got time for stories. This is a story podcast.
I didn't know this until a sportscaster brought this out, but in the wall at Fenway, the Green Monster, was a little door that they could go, and apparently there was a bathroom there.
That's great.
So when they had pitching changes, Manny used to go be in there and use the men's room, and then come out, and it'd just be as fine can be.
I imagine it'd be the bleacher bar, or maybe it'd be so funny. He's walking and people like doing shots in the bleacher bar, and he's just like, "Gotta pee, guys, gotta pee."
Yeah.
All right.
I thought that was kind of cool. I have a bathroom right there.
Yeah. So, getting back to Miguel Cabrera for my next question. So he hit his 500th off of Steven Matz, who, hey, Steven, I know your cousin. So in a way, pitchers are also remembered for who, giving up the 500th home run. Out of all the 28 members of this club, only one of those pitchers that gave up a 500th was a Hall of Fame pitcher. Obviously not at the time because he was still playing, but would become a Hall of Fame pitcher. So out of all the 28 members, who hit their home run off of a Hall of Fame pitcher? And bonus points, Dad, who was that Hall of Fame pitcher?
Recent or
decade? I want to say was the 60s. I think 67. If I'm right on that, I get bonus points. I know I did the research.
I say Don Drysdale.
Don Drysdale gave it up. No.
Okay.
It was Juan Marichal.
I was gonna guess that.
And who hit off Juan? This guy would be like 50s, 60s star. So pre-Aaron.
Eddie Matthews.
That was my clue, yeah. Eddie Matthews. There you go, you got some points.
Unbelievable. I was going to say Juan Marichal.
Yeah, well, there you go. So that was the only...
He's one of my favorite pitchers.
And he's the only Hall of Famer that's next to all these other Hall of Famers. Yeah. So that's kind of fun. That 500th was really historic.
Him and Bob Gibson were stars during that era.
Most of the other people that gave up, a 500 home run were not memorable. But they are now in history in this club. There you go, on the board.
Yeah, that's right. Ding, ding, ding.
All right, here's an either-or question, Dad. You weren't great with the last one, but let's see if you are better with this one. Who hit their 500th first? Sammy Sosa or Barry Bonds? Use these at home. I'm very impressed with my questions now. Humble, too.
Bonds.
Yes, Bonds did. Sammy Sosa obviously ended up hitting less home runs than Barry significantly. Anyone significant, outside Aaron and Ruth. But yes, so Bonds obviously was more of a steady climb to that number and faster than Sosa.
Right.
Or McGuire.
Yeah, Sammy had a period of 5 or 6 years that he was doing 60, 60, 60, and then dropped off.
Exactly. And he didn't, hit that well with the White Sox or the Rangers when he started.
Or the Orioles.
Yeah, that was the end of his career, but he had already been in the club at that point.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about teams. So there are, I'll even give you this, out of the 30 current MLB baseball teams, 26 have representation in some way on the 500 home run club. That doesn't mean they hit it while playing for the Twins or something like that, but they have some link to a 500 home run club member. Whether that's he played on us for one season, he played on us for his entire career.
Okay.
26 people can claim, hey, we have a link to a big home run slugger. 4 teams do not. And if you guys want to guess what's in the background, or you can certainly guess that as well, just name me one of the teams that
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is one of them. So boom. Another, obviously the new team of the Nationals. I'm trying to point to it without looking at that. They're a new team. They don't have that yet. The Diamondbacks as well, new team, and the Colorado Rockies as well do not have anyone linked to 500.
Well, if you really think about the Washington team, are you linking them?
I am not linking them to Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good enough.
Yeah, I'm not linking them to Montreal. Because what is your case there, Dawson?
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyways, I'm looking at the Nationals as the Washington Nationals 2005 to now. But yeah, you got credit for the race. So great guess.
I think I'm getting back to a 50 percentile.
For all the fact checkers out there, Eddie Matthews ended his career at the Astros, so that gets a check. I think it was
didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think it was his end of his year. His last year, his second to last year, he was with Houston. So I'm giving the Astros credit for that.
For $1, can you name his number? Eddie Matthews' number when he played with Milwaukee?
3.
41.
Nope. He knows numbers. I don't. He knows.
I do. Well, I use black and white TV. They used to play the Cubs all the
Right.
time on GM.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Generational thing, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee back in those days had a great club, very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Used to beat the poop out of the Cubs. So, yeah.
And then Killebrew, which I didn't know this, but he ended his career as a Kansas City Royal, which is how Kansas City gets some credit for being on the 500 home run club team list.
How many home runs George Brett get in the 300s?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, probably a little south of 4. He's obviously a Hall of Famer, but he's not
Correct,
on this
because
list.
of his batting average and everything else.
So who was we could look at it as the youngest member of the 500 home run club, or if you want to say it another way, who was the fastest to 500 home runs? 28 options.
Ken Griffey Jr.
No. Fast, but not that fast. Same team in the 90s. I'll give you that hint.
Alex Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez was the fastest. I know Griffey was in there, but right now A-Rod fastest, and I think he did it by his 30th or 31st birthday. Really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to do a little team comparison. So,
This is fun.
That's good. We're having fun. This is good. I hope you're having fun at home, too. So, like I said, there's 26 teams represented in some way in the 500 Home Run Club. Some teams, obviously the older teams, are represented more so than others. Red Sox and Yankees. That's what we're going to look at right now. Who do you think has more representation in the club? Who has more members that can say, hey, I wore a Yankees uniform, hey, I wore a Red Sox uniform?
Red Sox.
Okay, it's a tie. So I broke it down by the players. So it is Babe Ruth, obviously being on both teams. He did bat and hit home runs for the Red Sox, not many. Manny Ramirez, Big Papi, Jimmy Fox, Ted Williams. That's those 5. Don't look at numbers. Obviously, I said Babe Ruth, A-Rod, Mickey Mantle, Gary Sheffield, and Reggie Jackson. Gary Sheffield wore a Yankees jersey for a little while. Mm-hmm. So 5 and 5. Now, if we only looked at the home runs when they were in a Yankees uniform or in a Red Sox uniform, and I added those up for each of these 5 players, is it still a tie, or do we have more home runs hit by Yankees or more home runs hit by Red Sox?
More home runs by Yankees.
That is correct. The Yankees, out of those 5, just exactly. The Yankees are responsible for 1,766 home runs in the 500 home run club, and the Red Sox are responsible for 1,549. Still a ton of home runs for 10 players. Obviously, the big factor there is Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth only got 49 home runs for the Red Sox and 659 for the Yankees. So, thank you, Baseball Reference. I appreciate the quick math. All right, now we're going to look at other accolades. I got a lot of questions. We're going to look at other accolades of these ball players. That's not just hitting a ball far. We have some people in the 3,000 hit club as well, and we have some Gold Glovers. So out of the 28 players, how many have at least one Gold Glove? 28. And you can kind of think about who starred as a player.
I will give you a range, 12 to 15.
I'll take that range, 13. So roughly half. And then you know who is the biggest defensive star. And just again, looking at Gold Gloves earned is how I'm measuring that. For all the 500 home run club.
Can you give multiple choice?
Sure. I'll give you 3.
Okay.
Ken Griffey, Mike Schmidt, or Willie Mays.
Ooh. Ooh.
2 had 10 Gold Gloves. 1 had 13. Pretty sure. Check me.
Ken Griffey.
Is that your answer?
No. Schmidt. And who's the third?
Say hey.
Willie Mays. I'm going Mike Schmidt.
Incorrect. It's Willie Mays.
That's my second choice.
Yeah. But obviously they're all
because I was
fantastic.
thinking he had a lot of competition. That's the reason why I said that.
It's fair. Yeah. Neither did Willie Mays, apparently. He just was that dominant.
Oh, but he was...
Yeah. No, I know. They all have earned their Gold Gloves. There's always competition. But yeah, I see your thought. But yeah, 13 Gold Gloves for Willie Mays.
And you're going to tell me you don't know who Mike Schmidt is.
I have a Von Hayes joke when we go to the... We got a lot of podcasts in the hopper, and we have Hall of Very Good. There'll be a Von Hayes joke in the Hall of Very Good for the 80s.
Who's Mike Schmidt?
You got one for Von Hayes in here. All right, the 3,000 Hit Club. So are there more members in the 500 Home Run Club or in the 3,000 Hit Club?
More in the 500 home run club.
Incorrect.
Oh,
it has been easier statistically to get 3,000 hits than it has been to hit 500 home runs.
Interesting.
It's a close margin. There's only 4 more players in the 3,000 hit club than there are in the 28.
The small ball and all that stuff in dead ball era.
That probably plays a factor
Yeah.
into it, too.
Okay.
I think it's also easier to hit a ball, let's say, 100 feet in a hole than 400 feet over a fence.
Okay.
Not by much, though. But not by
Yeah.
much. And it's also
Both are great achievements.
Right. 500 home runs also count as hits, which helps them this as well.
Mm-hmm.
But how many are members of both?
Ooh.
So now we have not only defensive stalwarts, but people that hit the ball and can hit the ball far. It's not many, I'll tell you that.
6.
Bingo! Right on the money! Let's go, Dad! It is Hank Aaron, obviously I say Willie Mays, Albert Pujols, Eddie Murray, A-Rod, and Rafael Palmeiro.
And they should be in a very unique... I mean, think about the achievement of that.
Yeah.
And, Palmeiro was a very good player.
Yes, he was.
And consistent. And
He's
all
a Gold
that
Glover,
stuff.
too.
Yeah, and it's just a shame
I know.
that what happened at the end.
I know. Eddie Murray, fun fact about him, this isn't a question. He's the only player on this entire club, the 500 home run club, that never hit above 40 home runs a season. Steady Eddie, so he never had a breakout season. He always just hit in the high 30s season after season
And
after
about
season.
100 RBIs a season and everything else.
Right. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting that you could still make the 500 home run club without having a monster year.
Yeah.
Just being consistent.
Did Eddie ever play in the National League?
Orioles. No.
Dodgers.
Oh! Yeah. For like a season and a half, something like that? Yeah. Yeah, I was reading about that. So did
Eddie ever play in Cleveland?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I did those two teams. It's like, have I seen a baseball card of him in a third uniform? We got Baltimore trivia here.
You got one wrong.
I don't do... Yeah, this is not the trivia. All that stuff. I'm asking the questions here.
Yeah.
I got two more, and they're kind of fun. We're talking about this question's players about not in the 500 home run club, but just a smidge away. So who is the player closest to the 500 home run club? Obviously, they have 400 plus. That is not. So who is basically the last team off, the last player off? Hint: they hit 493 home runs.
McGriff.
And it's a split question. It's a tie. Fred McGriff is one answer. He hit 493 home runs.
I don't know who the other one is.
Lou Gehrig.
Oh, you know
So
what?
both these players, one in the Hall of Fame, one not in the Hall of
If
Fame.
he didn't get sick, he would have done it.
Right. So 493 is that next step down.
How many seasons did Garrett play?
16, 17.
Okay.
But check me, Yankee fans. Yeah. By the way, I'm doing really good. I said 15, 20 minutes information. I'm at 17 and a half right now. Let's go. So yeah, shout out to Fred McGriff and Lou Gehrig. I wish you guys both got 500. And I think both of you should be in the Hall of Fame.
And Fred could have just played another half season and done it.
Right, 7 home runs. Kind of what Miggy's doing now, in my opinion, but whatever. Okay, laugh.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You have Fred
Did
McGriff?
McGriff ever play as a Cub?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Padre, Marlin, Brave, Cub.
I think you're probably right.
Fred McGriff.
Yeah.
One World Series ring with the Braves. Last question. Fun question. When there's never been a 500th home run as a grand slam. There's been, solos, 2 home runs, 3 run shots, but there's never been a grand slam. So maybe one day we'll see that happen. Has there ever been a walk-off home run for someone's 500th home run?
I'm thinking the odds are yes.
The odds probably would be no, but yes! Jim Thome did it fairly recently, too. So he was at 499, bottom of the ninth. His team was up. He got the pitch. He hit a home run. They won on a walk-off. Talk about a celebration.
Yeah.
A walk-off home run for your 500th. Jim Thome. That's how I want to walk off this podcast.
Oh, look
That's
at
how
that.
I want to walk off
Look at
this
the segue,
episode.
baby.
This was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. So we hope you guys enjoyed that.
It was a good one.
It's really fun to talk about, big names in baseball history, baseball royalty, if you will, as well as silly stuff. We'll have a lot of other silly stuff coming up. If you ever heard of the House of David, that will be in the future. I'll be doing one of those, and then I know my dad has stuff in the offing as well. But give us a like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy these questions with your friends. Make it your bar trivia Saturday night.
It'd be perfect. This was fun. Very good research and very unique questions. Not the typical questions I was expecting. So, very good. Very good.
Well, thank you for watching, Dad. I enjoyed stumping you as well as you getting it right. You got plenty
I
right.
think I came back in the second half.
You did. You redeemed yourself just like Marilyn and Duke. And you got me with a few, too. So
Yes.
that was all
Yes. Good. Thank you for watching.
Thanks again, everybody.